So what to expect with technology, because podcasting, obviously we know it's audio, but in today's world, it's everything's on video, and YouTube is like the number one place for podcast discoverability. So a lot of podcasts are now setting up and doing their podcast on video. And even if they don't have their podcast up on YouTube, they are putting clips on social media. So there's always most likely going to be a video component. So one of the biggest tips I can give people is prioritizing the audio quality. So a lot of people, and this happens a lot, where they log on and it's right before the interview is supposed to start. There's been no tech check, and so it's going to delay significantly, your recording. And so if you're dealing with a host who's on a tight schedule, if there's more than one guest and there's a holdup, that can just cause, delays and things. So you just don't want to do that. And the producers will remember the guests called in, they weren't ready, there was all kinds of issues. So usually the producer will ask you to do a tech check either prior to the interview or maybe even a couple days before. And the things you want to check for is to make sure your microphone, your camera, the platform you're using, the browser you're using is working smoothly. For instance, the Riverside podcasting platform is only runs on Chrome. So a lot of people may not have Chrome. And so if they try to log in on something else, it just won't work and it will cause delays. So just making sure that you have all of these components and everything running smoothly in advance will help a lot. Recording in a quiet, carpeted room if you can. A lot of people will be in a big room without carpet. It can create an echo and just doesn't sound great on the recording. The headphones which I have right here, those are really, really important because, and people think, well, I can hear you. I'm just talking to you like I'm talking to you now. But with multiple people on the line, and if your recording space isn't the most ideal, sometimes it will create an echo. Also, the host or the other guest, their lines can bleed through your line, and so it's just really hard in post-production for an editor to clean up kind of these audio issues. So using headphones is really, really important. And I can't tell you how many times we've done interviews where people show up, they don't have headphones, and we can really hear the echo, and so we have to wait. They leave, they go find them, and so everyone's just held up. So it's just try and have all these things ready to go, once you're logged in for the interview, and just making sure you have a strong Wi-Fi connection. I know that sounds, like a no-brainer, but sometimes we've had people call in from cafes or, outside, and there's, wind blowing in the background, things like that. So just make sure like you do have a strong Wi-Fi connection, that it's stable, and it's a quiet space that you're in. Another big thing is lighting in your background. Sit facing a light source. You can use natural light, you could use a ring light, and just make sure your background doesn't have a lot of clutter. If you have a logo, if you want something to be on brand, make sure that's behind you. Make sure that there's some appealing visuals behind you, because as I said before, the clips could be shared on social media. And then make sure you're framed properly and you're in the center of the camera.